night. And as you can see in the title, saying revive your dream. You know. But don't forget while you are here, folks, like and subscribe and comment down below. It really helps the video to get out into the YouTube universe. So revive your dreams. You know, some years ago when my dream was I think it was pretty much dead and buried. That at least that's what I believe at the time. That was my belief at the time. Because I just couldn't, it was like, okay, I want these things, but they are never gonna happen. And I kind of believed that for a long time. All right. And over a long period of time, you know, hey Christy, how are you? Good evening. Uh, so that continued on for years and years. I just couldn't get anywhere at all. I just wasn't moving. I was stuck. Girl, dude. Yeah, I got some stuff. I got some nice, lovely chocolates. I just have one right now. It tastes so good. Yeah. So those years, yeah. You're welcome, Christy. So those years that I spent not moving forward at all, and that was rough. I noticed it was the most painful time of my life when my dreams were buried. You know. Yeah, I need to. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it in a little bit. Uh, I thought about that earlier on, but because my day was so busy today, and I woke up this morning and then we went out for a run. We did a 10-mile run today. Took us an hour and a half. Did a 10-mile run. And then, my friends, they took me to lunch to celebrate the 500 day. So we did that, and then I came home. I took a nap when I came home. I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired, man. And then, I gotta do other stuff as well that I have to do. But yeah, sure. But it was a pretty good day, though. I was, So yeah, so those years were the most painful years of my life when my dreams were buried or covered up, so to speak, by everything else. Yeah, today 501, but we did the 501. We run it on the 501 days to celebrate the 500. That's what happens there. Yeah. So those years were the most painful years of my life when my dreams were covered up. And I can't remember how happy I was. I wasn't really happy, even though I went out to the club and we partying. But something inside of me was just telling me that you are not happy at all. This is just not the life you want to live. So I, it's like I didn't know what to do at all. There were nobody come up to show me anything whatsoever. All right. So I got stuck in that state for a long time. Remind you, it was a painful state to be in because my dreams, the things that I wanted to do, I just gave up on them. I let them go. I start to work. I was just working at a job to pay my bills to cover the rent. That's pretty much what I did for a long period of time, which was cool. But at the same time, it's like, was that all there is to life? So what do I do? Continue on. I keep on getting myself into more and more um you know tensions and arguments with people because I was just miserable, not understanding what I need to do to get myself out of the situation. All right. No, it was good. It was a learning lesson. It was something that I need to learn. I need to go through that in order for me to be where I'm at today. Is looking back at those things, I understand what the reason why I was the way how I was. So I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you, revive your dreams. So I'm here to tell you, revive your dreams. Right? So revive your dreams. That's what I'm here to say. If you are going through a rough time right now and you are angry and you are full of anger, you have a lot of anger issues, there might be a good chance that your dream that that's inside of you, that you are not getting to live that dream, it is a problem. And you are gonna have to learn how to revive your dream, so that way you can change your life. So spent those years, in misery, and then some years later, I discover, hey Zaki, how you doing, man? Appreciate you. Good to see you back. How are you guys doing over there in Indonesia? Right. So some years later, I figure out how to make my dream a reality again, and I start to pursue. I start to follow it, and now it's becoming exactly, Christy. So now I decided to. So I mean, when I stumble upon something called personal development, I did it. I got into it and I start to make those, to work on myself, because I realized that I'm not living the way how I want to live, right? Um, so I start to follow the personal development, and I start to listen to these guys, these gurus, and they will give advice and what you should do next. And I remember I took out my pen. I was watching this video for this guy. He was like 300 and something pounds, and you know, the guy has pituitary cancer, whatever that cancer is, in the brain, and 305 pounds. And then he said he asked himself, before the big houses, the big cars, and what did he want? What type of life did he want to live before that? And he said, I want to be an athlete. And so I took his question and I asked myself, what did I wanted to do before anything else? I have always wanted to travel. Love traveling. When I came to the States, I did quite a bit of traveling, and then, I stopped that later on, and it was making me miserable. I said I want to travel. That was my goal. But travel and do what? That was the problem for me now. Like, okay, I just want to travel just to travel's sake. Like, okay, cool. That would be nice too. But could I travel and do something that I love at the same time? And I revived that dream. And that came in a way which I didn't expect at all. Now I want to travel and run. At least here in the States, I'm seeing all these races in Utah, Texas, and everywhere else, New York, and all over the place. I'm seeing all these races. I want to go into these races. I want to go run some of these races in different states. I want to travel and run. The dream has revived. You are going to have to revive your dream as well. Maybe you are still thinking about that big bull elk up there in Alaska. You're going to have to revive that dream. You need that rifle that you are always looking at to go hunt that big bull elk. You're going to have to revive that dream. If you don't, I'm here to tell you, as a witness to what happened to me, and I'm pretty sure you're going to face the same exact thing. If you do not revive your dream, you're going to spend the rest of your life regretting it. Okay? When I wasn't living out my dream, when I wasn't living out my dream, when I wasn't living, or when my dream wasn't look like it was possible at the time. Didn't look possible at all. I realized that, you know, I felt so much pain during that time. I go to bed angry. I wake up angry. I was just miserable for years. This continued on for years. So this is not like it happens in a few days and then, I go back to normal. No, 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 no. This continued on for years. Caused a lot of problems for me and other people as well. I say things which I did not want to say, right? Not cool, right? So, you gotta revive your dream. You gotta, take out your pen and a piece of paper, and you gotta write down that thing that you have always wanted to do. Start right there. Maybe you need, maybe let's say you're 50 years old and you have always wanted to date a young Latina girl. That's your goal. Don't let anybody tell you not to do it or whatever the hell. None of the, none of their business what you do with your life. It's your business. So I'm saying something here which might be extreme, but these are goals that somebody might have. Okay? So you have always wanted to date a young Latina, but you're 50 years old now. And you think that that might have passed. Give it a shot still. I want you to write that down. Okay? And you need to put on, put on some muscles, maybe a six pack, who knows? But you need to lose the weight because now you are 50 years old and you are fat. You probably can still get a Latina being 50 and fat, but it probably wouldn't be fun. It'll be short lived. She'll probably spend some time with you and then get rid of you because you're a old fat 50 years old guy. Not cute, not sexy. But you start to hit the gym. You start to run. You start to shred it up a little bit. Lose the weight. Get back in shape. Feel the best you have ever felt your entire life. Okay? So, what do you do now? Exactly. That's exactly what you do. Focus on yourself. That's the best thing to do, I think. Right? Nobody knows what you want. You are the only person who knows what you want. And that's why focusing on yourself is the best thing ever. Anytime I stop doing that and start focusing on other things, I noticed I became, just miserable. Right? So, 50 years old, not in the best shape, wanted to, live out your dream of, dating a young Latina. You gotta go do it. I know these are things that some people might, because dreams doesn't have to be this big, massive thing. It could be simple. Could be easy. It could be simple. Like what I just mentioned there. Now that could be that. Well, it looks simple, but for the guy who wants to do it, he might not have the courage. So he's afraid to go approach those girls because he's fat. He's 50 years old and he's fat. I would say, hey, much love to you, Kel. Do appreciate you, man. Stay up. Happy holidays. So you're gonna have to pursue that dream. Start living out that dream because you cannot be a happy person if you do not live out, or if you're not pursuing that dream. You will not be happy at all. You're gonna be one of the most miserable person anybody would ever see. We can try to cover these things up all we want. Like I did for years. I tried to cover that up, and after a while, I realized that the covering up just wasn't working anymore. People are going to see a side of you that they have never seen before, and you want to avoid that at all costs. I made a mistake. You don't need to make it. So that's why I'm here to tell you. So that's why I'm here talking to you right now. You often see, like women, they will come on TV and they will talk because they are with their husbands and life is good and everything. But you will hear they complain all the time. I never get to do what I wanted to do. I took care of my husband, I raised their children, I be a good wife, and so forth. And these women are typically are often miserable because they haven't get to live out their dreams. That is something that you do not want to happen to you. You do not want a wife like that. Or if or if that's the case, if that's the case, and you have a wife like that, you got to let her go. Maybe she wants to go down to the college and she want to go study science and philosophy because she have always been interested in these things. You need to. You better let her go. You better let her go do that, or else you're gonna have a miserable woman inside your house. So these are things that affect people on a level which most of us can't really understand. And we're like, oh, she has the car, she has the house, she has all these things, but why is she still miserable? Hasn't get to pursue her dreams. That's it. And it's not fun. That's how my life was for many years. When I discovered personal development, it revived my dream. And I noticed it wasn't a rapid transformation, but for the past, I would say the past year and a half, I begin to, becoming more happier and happier. And I noticed once I started to pursue my dreams again. You gonna have to do that for yourself. But there are some other things you're gonna have to do while you're on this journey as well. You can't just write down your dream and expect it to manifest out of thin air. It's not gonna happen. Okay? This is why you are gonna have to put start put one foot in front of the other. Like I mentioned earlier on, let's say it's the lady who wants to go study philosophy. She needs to go up to that, get online and apply for those courses immediately and start, taking, get up there and get start working on that course, those courses, right? For her philosophy and science and sociology and whatever else she wants to study, and biology. She needs to sign up for those courses, start doing them right away. That will bring some ease to her. She will feel way more at ease with herself. Okay? Or it's the guy, the 50-year-old guy who wants to date a young Latina. He needs to get out there, get in shape, and start pursuing that girl that he so desired for all these years, and he has never really get around to do it. You gotta do that. For me, it was just pure intuition I follow. That's all I did. Follow my intuition. Whatever they tell me to do, I do them. Whenever I don't do them, I suffer. All right? So, I was, something told me, get up and go to the gym. I did it. And when I got to the gym, something said, hit the pavement, go run. I start running. And I have been doing that for 501 days now. And it's more recently here, it dawned on me that what I really want to do, I love running and I love traveling. Put the two together, travel and run. Ding, 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 ding. Light bulb came on, comes on. So, for you, I might not know what that is for you, but but I think deep down inside you know it. And whenever you talk about it, two things can happen. You get really angry because you are not doing it. Or the next thing, you become so fired up, so happy, because this is what you wanted to do. You're gonna have to revive that dream. I know it might be, you might be 25 years old, and there are some things that you love doing when you were in your teens, a couple of short years ago. But now you're 25 years old, you find yourself stuck in a kitchen, washing dishes at 25, trying to figure this thing here out, and you are just not happy. It doesn't matter what party you go to, the people you hang out with, they are nice people, everything, but you are just miserable. Okay? Take a look at the things that you actually like to do, and if not, then you need to, if you, let's say you can't figure out what you really like to do, follow your intuition. Listen to that voice inside of you. Okay? The gut feeling, listen to it. It will tell you the next thing to do. Even, I don't care how stupid it looks, you need to do it. If you don't, you're going to remain where you are, being miserable. Okay? I would prefer you to do something and screw up and messed up. Okay, when I say messed up, don't, make sure it's not illegal. Okay? Because if you know, if it's illegal, then you're gonna, get taken off to jail or prison, something like that. So no. As long as you're not gonna hurt anybody else doing what you do, you should be free to explore that. But listen to that voice inside of you, and you need to take the next step. I don't care what it is. I create some relationships from playing pickleball because my gut feeling told me to go over to the court. I didn't even have a paddle, a pickleball paddle. Didn't have one. This girl Jessica, she gave me her paddle to play with the damn. Cause I just show up. I want to play and I show up. Those relationships, even though I don't see those people often anymore, but those relationships still stands. Whenever we run into each other, we start talking. Right? Recently here something happens, and all those people know who I was, and they all volunteer and jump in to assist me, because I built that relationship from following my gut feeling to go play pickleball. These are things that um uh I trying to pass down to other people, like you gotta follow. When I start running, I mean, it was just for get in shape. It was fun, stay fit, and so forth. That's what running was for. Little did I know that was going to be something way more than what I even thought it was going to be. Okay, and here I am now, looking at races all over the country with the deep, strong desire to compete, to participate in those races that happens all over America. That is what, from reviving your dream, it will lead you to become. Oh, and something else. A lot of people do not know how to become peaceful. Some people, they do not know how to stay peaceful. I understand. Been there, understand it. Now I know how to do that. Doesn't bother me anymore. But for you who doesn't know how to stay in a peaceful state, in a calm state, in a relaxed state, reviving your dream, I think, is the beginning of that process of becoming a peaceful person. Now you have something of importance to think about, right? Maybe it's the fishing trip in Alaska, right? Maybe it's to go down to Brazil, to the carnival down there, to go dance with those girls at the carnival. I don't care what it is. But, dreams doesn't have to be something massive, folks. There can be something simple. Maybe you need to go into the back country by yourself. Maybe you need to go into those back country by yourself. You get into your camper van. You might not have one, so you might need one of those camper vans, or whatever vehicle you have. You might have to just get in that vehicle and take the chance and go out into the back country by yourself to go spend a couple of days in there. Some people are like that. They like to be by themselves or way out into the middle of nowhere in the back country. Some people like that stuff, you know? I'm not that kind of guy. Yeah, but in the back country by myself in the middle of nowhere, no, it's not for me. I know people who are like that. Okay, so these are some things that help me, that have actually helped me to shape and change my life, and um, you know, these are things that help me to change and shape me, and shape my life, and make me a lot more. It's like I like myself far better now than how I used to. I don't think I hated myself, but I think I hated the way how I was living. That was a real problem for me there. And that's what happens to me during that time. So that that time, during those years, I just became one of the most miserable person you ever see. So much anger, resentment, and bitterness because I found myself stuck in a kitchen doing something that I hate to do. All right, so I I just hated the way how I was living, until when I stumbled upon the voice in my head. I start to listen to the intuition and what was going on, and I'm trying to figure this thing out here. Like when I remember, I was on the freeway one day, and I was listening to these audios, these personal development audios. Hey, Ray, how you doing? And I was just listening to these audios, and I got the voice in my head told me, pack up your stuff and go to this other city. Remind you, I have nowhere to stay. I stayed in my car under, you know, under my, I stayed in my car in a garage, in a parking garage for at least 5 months. That's what I have to do at the time in order for me to get to where I need to go. And of course, they were talking about businesses, and so I want to start a business. I didn't have the money at the time. I saved the money up when I started a business, but I realized after I started a business, I didn't like it. I thought, but I spent a couple $1,000s on that business, but I didn't like it at all. So I let it go there. And then from that business, I go into another business. I realized that I didn't like that either after a while. In the beginning, it sounds good. Later on, no. But it's by following those things. Yes, I failed along the way. I lost money and so forth. But it has gotten me to where I am at today. If I didn't make those moves, take those chances, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. This is the most peaceful I have ever been in my entire life because I figure some things out along the way. And this is where a lot of you, I think, are struggling. One, you're afraid to make the move. You're gonna suffer if you keep staying, if you keep living in your city, which you should get out. Your city is a hellhole. You need to get out of it. Like the city I was in when I was in another state, it was a hellhole, and I decided to get the heck out of there. Throw my stuff. I remember when I just grabbed my stuff, just tossed it in the car because I was so angry at myself, knowing that I need, I could have been better all my life, and I didn't do the things, what I needed to be doing. Okay? So that was a wake up call for me. You know what I mean? It's going to be on you guys now to start making some moves. Revive your dream, man. Start dreaming about the dinner. But you can't just dream alone. You're going to have to, yeah, you're gonna have to do what you need to be doing. I know on certain days when I don't want to run, Luckily, I was still going out there and running still when I don't want to. Running has become a part of my life, big part of my life. Fitness has become a big part of my life. Without it, I do not know where the hell I would be, what I would be doing today. All right. Now we are going to get, in that state of mind where we are going to do the things, even though it's hard. We're gonna do them until we start to see a little bit of crack, you know, through those clays. Remove some of those mud, and we start, your eyes, and you start look again, and you start to see your goals. I mean, the things you want to accomplish in front of you again. It can be done, folks. I did it, and I know you can too. Ryan here with a new video. Looking forward to see you soon in a brand new video. Like and subscribe and comment down below. Don't forget, revive your dreams. The things that you want. Maybe you want to go to Paris to go stand up by, the Eiffel Tower. You just want to do that. You need to do it. Okay? All right, folks. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. Like, subscribe, comment down below. That helps the video to get out into the YouTube universe. Appreciate you. Bye.